What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about maybe the biggest Resident Evil 9 rumor yet. Now, we've heard a few things about this game, such as semi-open world, like maybe a little Dragon's Dogma 2 formula injected, I guess, into it. We have heard things, right? It's normally from Dusk Golem. Funny enough, actually, this is not from him, but I really do believe, because we actually get a character, which maybe the thumbnail or title gives that away. I don't plan that far ahead, I guess. I do believe, just by nature of that, just by nature of who will be playing as, at least in the beginning of the game, that this would be the biggest rumor we've ever had on this game. And I think it's probably because the game is most likely going to get announced in the next couple months. That's been a theory of mine for a while, that they would announce it sometime like June, July, and then maybe it would come out February, March, April, somewhere in that range next year, which would follow the timeline that they've done over the last little while. So let's get into this rumor, and it's from a verified account. Now, I don't know how much you want to trust this individual. They seem pretty confident, at least on the second half of the things that they say, but with the translation, let's read this thing out. We have received some information about the 9th part of Special Source. We will share it with you in this tweet. Leon Kennedy will be the main character in the game's introduction. The source does not know why only the game's introduction was mentioned, as the character may change with the passage of events. In the introduction, the region will be Southeast Asia, as Dusk Golem mentioned previously, and also, as is the case with the first information, the region may change with the passage of events. The events of the story will take place in the summer of 25, which means that Leon will be 48 years old at the time. This info is almost certain because it is from a reliable source that our own source reported to us, but then he mentioned that he has heard another piece of news, but he's not sure about it, which is that RE1 Remake will be released in 2026. But what makes that possible? Well, previously it was stated that, as it appears, Capcom is preparing something for the series' 30th anniversary, and he concluded his statement by saying details are secret. Note that the 30th anniversary will be in 2026, and according to what the source heard, the remake of the first part will be released in that year, so perhaps this thing that Capcom is preparing is the remake, especially as it is related to the anniversary. In conclusion, no matter how true and reliable the info is, we are not certain about anything we are talking about. Capcom may change its ideas overnight, so what we have to do is be patient and wait. Thanks for reading. Okay, so let me just say a few things just really quickly. Number one, hey, I can respect the rumor. I don't really know what that last part is supposed to get at. I can tell you something pretty, I would say, concretely here. I don't think you would, well, look, can you cancel a game overnight? Yeah, I guess that's possible, but I don't think like you're changing the main character of RE9 overnight. You know what I mean? Like, based off how this rumor does, I don't think Capcom's going to wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? I know the game comes out next year, but I think we need to switch main characters. So I don't get that last part, but regardless, I like it. I like it quite a bit, and I very much hope that it is real. So starting from the top going down, right? Leon, huh? Look, my theory for a long time has been Chris. Even though, like, the Winters family story was over, and they said that, like, that was the declaration, right, with the Rose DLC, it was clearly leading to something, right? Like, Chris had his own backstory of what was going on and all that jazz, and there was a time jump, a huge time jump, to get Rose to be, like, an actual, like, basically almost an adult, okay? So I had always assumed, well, maybe you would just follow that and you pick it up right there. Now, that doesn't mean Chris wouldn't be in the game. In fact, I think people have, like, speculated before, or at least theorized or wanted, like, can we get kind of all of them? Like, can we get Claire? Can we get Leon? Can we get Ada? Like, depending on who you're talking about, it's been a little longer than others. And I feel like if this is going to be the last one, remember the rumor a while ago is this is the last one. At least this is the last in this, like, I don't want to call it trilogy, in this 9, series arc. This is it. And afterwards, they might do something completely different. Maybe you get these characters again. Maybe it's more like an anthology series from the next game forward. This could be it. So can you bring back all of these classic characters? I think you can. And I think that should be the goal of this game. So my theory was always playing as Chris, playing as Leon. Hey, I'll take it. It's been a while for Leon as well. So I don't see too big of a problem with that one. And, they talk about some of the similarities that Dusk Golem has said, which probably, honestly, how I read into that is maybe they have the same source. Maybe they even have the same source and they don't even know it, right? Although, later on in that tweet, they do say, like, well, it seems like that was from one thing and then the next part was from another source that they kind of trust or whatever. RE1, now, that's something that I've already seen, like, on Twitter, people kind of, being split on. they've already done something with RE1. Now, here's what I would counter with, right? They did, but at the same time, you look at RE2 on RE2, RE3, RE4. I would not necessarily call those the same quality of remake. Now, does it mean to go back and to remake a game you've technically already messed with, once before? Not necessarily. I would prefer, as I've said time and time again, I feel like I have a good amount of the fans with me, fans of Resident Evil with me. Can we please have Resident Evil 5? I really want RE5, if nothing more than to make like IGN mad. But no, I like RE5. So I mean, I would love RE5. I do think RE4 very much, like, especially the ending, right, kind of tells us that RE5 is going to happen. But also Code Veronica. I think those, for me, those are the two. Give me a Code Veronica, give me an RE5. And honestly, if you're really going to just go wild, like you're just going to kind of go all out, yeah, eventually give me RE6. I don't like that game. I haven't played it since it came out. I'm willing to give it a second try, but give me RE6. Like, honestly, just go for it. So is RE1 getting remade another time what I want? Not necessarily. Does it make sense in terms of a huge 30th anniversary? Yeah. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Like, what better way to celebrate the RE franchise on the big day, the big year, than to go back to the very first one? You could say, well, Alex, they've already done that. That's fair. But at the same time, I mean, you could maybe keep doing it. Maybe for the 40th anniversary, you do it a third time, right? Who knows? But honestly, like, Capcom's been doing really good. If you've seen the news, Capcom just had its, like, 7th very productive year in a row. They're giving people raises and bonuses. And, I mean, they are, honestly, like, they're how you do it in terms of AAA right now. Or at least right now. They've had a really good half decade, almost a full decade, a half decade plus. They've been crushing it. While a lot of other publishers have kind of collapsed in the last 5 to 7 years, Capcom has gone from a collapse to just like an ultimate success story. So I'm willing to see it through, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.